Thank you so much for joining me, Will, on my very first podcast. I'm so excited and honored to have you here. So, we just went over your very official title, but for everyone listening, what does that actually mean? What do you do?
Well, for lack of a better term, I hunt pedophiles.
That is such a powerful sentence, and what a thing to do. But I often hear, I could never do that. And I'm sure you hear it a lot too.
Yes. I hear it all the time. So, because of that, I've actually come up with a little thought exercise to kind of explain why I do what I do. And if you'd like, we can go over it right now. You want to do
Yeah,
that?
I'm a little nervous, but let's give it a go. Let's see.
Okay. Okay. So, just whenever I ask a quick question, it's just yes or no. That's it. That's all it is. Okay. You ready?
Got it.
All
I can
right.
do this.
Have you ever thought about stealing something?
Yes.
Of course. Have you ever thought about hurting somebody? Of
Yes.
course. Everybody has. Have you ever thought about killing somebody?
Yes.
Everybody has. Have you ever thought about running a red light?
And yes.
Yeah, like you probably did it even today. Now, have you ever had unsolicited sexual thoughts about another person?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You don't walk up to every single attractive person because we're all human beings. You don't walk up to them and go, "Hey, excuse me, I apologize, but do you mind if I have sexual fantasies about you later?" Like, you don't do that. That's not, obviously, that's not normal. So, now, last one. Have you ever had sexual thoughts about a 5-year-old?
No.
Why not?
That would be awful. I'm not attracted to 5-year-olds. That's not something that is in my makeup.
So that's why. The immediate the reaction that you just had to that question, where you kind of like recoiled a little bit, and then you even struggled to formulate an answer. It's not that, oh, what do I say? It's literally, why is this even a question? Why am I being questioned on this? So every single crime, the type of crime, can be explained away by the human condition. So we've all had, how do I put this? We've all had the thoughts, we've all had the tendencies to want to do things that are against the law, that are against our better judgment, that are against our fellow man or woman. But because of patience, because of self-control, and varying other things, we don't do it, right? But when you come to that, that is not human. That is not normal.
No,
So
that was
that
full
is,
stop.
yeah, exactly. That is why. It's because when I hunt these, when I'm investigating these crimes and I'm interacting with these type of people, I'm not talking to the average Joe. I'm talking to somebody who is deeply troubled and struggles, whether or not willingly or, anything along that line, with one of the absolute most abhorrent acts a human being can commit towards another. And especially because it's aimed at the most innocent of all the population. And obviously that's children.
Do you feel that it is an affliction that these people have, that it's something that they're struggling with? Use the word willingly or
Mhm.
unwillingly. Is it something that they're struggling with against their will?
Um, so the way that that's worded is pretty interesting, but how it's been explained, and a lot of research shows, it's not, a lot of people will associate it with an addiction. Okay. They'll associate it with something like drugs. Like, well, you can cut the addiction. You can cut this. When you start dealing with the sexual fantasies, the sexual side of things, you're not dealing with an addiction anymore. And don't get me wrong, we're not talking about pornography. We're not talking about anything like this. There's this brilliant speaker, Dr. Michael Burke, and what he talks about is the pornography rabbit hole. Okay, everybody's heard this term. Everybody's like, oh, well, you start here and you end up here. That's not how that works. So what he talks about is, you never focus on the rabbit hole itself. You focus on the end point. So pornography is nothing more than something just to replace our fantasies, right? It's nothing more than that. It's something that's a placeholder for a fantasy. That's all it is. So when you are constantly looking for new pornography, it's because what's here does not replace what's already here. Okay. It might have dulled it, but it didn't replace it. It didn't help ease it, right? So that's why that constant downward spiral occurs. Because it's not again where you're it's not where I'm sorry, it's not the path you took, it's where you end up. Because that shows the final fantasy. That shows the final, for us millennial kids, the final destination. Um, so if you were to look at the vast majority of people who look at pornography, they might change the models that they look at. They might get a little bit, maybe a little bit more kinky or something like that. But you're not going to take an average Joe and he's not going to go from looking at, I don't know, blonde hair, blue eyes to dogs. That's not how that works. That is not even close to how that works. There's already something there. And so when this occurs, this has already been breeding here. And with how fast and how deep technology has gotten, especially with the internet, people are meeting their endpoint faster and faster, if that makes sense. Whereas before it used to occur much later in life because, you were younger, you didn't have access to all these different things. But now even children have a supercomputer. So that's why we're seeing such an uptick in all this different type of stuff, is because people are just getting access to it easier and easier and easier. Now, you don't ever just stumble across it. That's not how that works. Anybody who says I just stumbled across it, like I was on Google Images and that's not how that works. That's not how that works even slightly. But it is becoming easier to seek out. And unfortunately, it is infecting much more populated, maybe areas of the internet, if that makes sense.